Hello everybody, my name's Liam769 and today we will be playing To Be or Not to Be. It's a multiple choice thing based on Hamlet, I believe, where you get to choose how your story is. You can choose, from what I've seen, you can choose the type of Hamlet you're also looking at. So you can have Hamlet with the antic disposition of his madness, or Hamlet who's actually mad, that kind of crazy stuff. Let's see. William Shakespeare, 1564 AD to whenever he died, was well known for borrowing existing literature when writing his plays. Romeo and Juliet is basically pretty much lifted from the Arthur Brooke poem, The Tragical History of Romeus and Juliet. Dude didn't even change the names. And, as recent Shakespeare scholarships have established, the famed play William Shakespeare Presents Hamlet was lifted wholesale from a volume we're about to enjoy. To Be or Not to Be. To Be or Not to Be is both the earliest recorded example of book as game genre, as well as the first instance ever in the then newish English language that was kicking around of an adventure being chosen by you, the reader. We've gone ahead and added illustrations, plus we've taken the liberty of marking with tiny York skulls choices at the Shakespeare himself plagiarized the book in the olden times. They look like this. They're there in case you wish to put yourself in Shakespeare's shoes, reading the whole book as he did, stealing plot elements wholesale, and classing up the language as you went go. However, this is not the only way to read a book. Feel free to explore the other options each time you read the book, and you can go on a different adventure, assuming you don't read a book 3 times, at which point the adventure will start to repeat, and they'll probably seem pretty familiar along the way long before taken away. Now, take a look back to history when ghosts walked the earth, and nobody knew what velociraptors were even thing. Steel yourself to experience the magic of Shakespeare as it was meant to be experienced, in a non-deterministic narrative structure where you can end up thinking maybe you made the wrong decision, so you just mark the page where you were just on, so you can always go back and make a different choice if you die for some reason. To be or not to be, that is the adventure. Rhine North. Okay. Let's choose my character. Congratulations, you've been born. Good work on that thing. Now, surprise, babies are born, so we're gonna jump ahead to a point in time where you're an adult and you've already lived a bunch of your life. I promise most of what we'll be skipping over is pretty dull. You ate a lot, slept a lot, and made some friends. Tears were shed, makeouts were totally had, etc. It was a bunch of high school stuff. The awesome stuff starts now! So, let's begin, my friend. Remind me who you are again? Are you Ophelia? She's an awesome lady in her late 20s with a calm and resource demeanor. She's got a +1 bonus to science, but she's also got a -1 weakness. Oh my fucking goodness me. Hamlet. He's an emo teen. -1 to water. He's an emo teen in his early 30s. He's also the Prince of Denmark. Hamlet has a +1 resistance to magic, but there's no magic in this adventure, so it never gets mentioned again as of right now. Hamlet, he's the king of Denmark, 50 years old. He's super good at fighting and leads men into battle and naps. Let's say 1+ to each. Look, bottom line, he's an unstoppable death machine. You choose him, you may experience kingly glory. Well, I want to do Hamlet because, wicked. You are Hamlet. You're 30 years old, and you're living back at your home, but it's okay, because your home is at the castle. That's right, ladies. You're a prince. Things have been rough lately. You've been trying to focus on your studies at Wittenberg University, where your bros Horatio, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern all hang out, but you were called home because your father died. Then your dead dad's brother, Claudius, married your mother, Gertrude, 2 weeks later. Yep. And it's made you kind of upset. Wait, I thought it was 2 months later. Oh, whatever. It's kind of made you upset. You raced home to comfort her, but she's still married to your uncle, and that is weird. You feel weird. Right now, you're in the audience chamber of your father's castle, here in sunny Denmark. King Claudius is here, addressing his court. Laertes and Polonius are here too. Laertes is kind of a jerk, and Polonius is his father. Polonius is also the father of Ophelia, whom you're totally sweet on. She's not here though. It's totally sweet on. Who knows what adventure she's having as we speak, while you're stuck in the drafty castle room listening to other people talk about their feelings. Speaking of speaking, just now Laertes is saying something about how now that Claudius is king, he can attend to the coronation. Is that okay for him to go back to France? Claudius says sure. Wait a minute, you love to leave too. You love to go back to school, away from this weird ancestry thing that your mother's gotten herself into. It's so gross and weird. Wherefore? That's Claudius. Well. I think I'm gonna hold my tongue. You stay silent, but King Claudius addresses you anyway. He says he's a king now, and it's time for you to stop mourning as your father's dead, and everyone has to die sometime, right? What a dickhead. Man up, he says. Walk it off, he says. Drop me a letter about it. He says, not my problem. Number 1, cheer up, Eddie Lane, Hoopsville, Denmark, he says. Your mom agrees with him, and then when they're done insulting you, they leave. You kind of wish you insulted him when you had the chance. In the meantime, you're alone in the empty console room and feeling pretty sad. The empty room offers you a ton of possibilities, which include things you can't do in this empty room, such as... Wherefore? You talk to yourself about how life in this ruins and everything sucks! You leave the room, you finally home, and it's been a week since you've embarked, sit on the throne as the Prince of Denmark. Well, I'm going to start my first playthrough, because I have a feeling there's going to be multiple playthroughs of this, by following the actual storyline, so let's just talk about how my life sucks! Okay, you talk aloud in an empty room. What do you say? I tell you what you say. You say that you wish your skin could literally melt off your body, revealing a skeleton that gives you double thumb down before crushing into dust. You say that your mom really loved your dad, but now she's married to Claudius, less than a month after Dad's death. Either love itself is fake, or she was faking love, and either way it doesn't matter because you've lost faith in your own mother. Oof. You say to the empty room, in all seriousness, that you want to kill yourself. Whoa, bro, this just got real! Let's not kill myself. While you're busy doing that, your friend Horatio bumps into you and tells you, A, he's in town for your dad's funeral, Mom's wedding, and they've served leftover appetizers for one another. B, goes surreal. C, he's seen one and a bunch of other guys. D, it keeps showing up at the same time. And E, he's pretty sure it's the ghost of your dad. Finally! Some adventure! Some closure! You agree that you'll come with him tonight to see the ghost when it shows up. Such an obvious decision that kind of feels like you don't even have the choice in the matter. What now? You agree to go with Horatio tonight to see the ghost when it shows up again. I'll be there 11:30 sharp, you say, and Horatio leaves satisfied. Well, now you've got 8 hours to blow before it's time to meet the ghosts. What do you want to do, Hamlet? Play solitaire. Be Ophelia for a while. I guess that means that we get to see Ophelia's storyline. So let's see what she's doing. To be she. She used to play as Ophelia. Yay! Right. You're Ophelia. You are a beautiful and independent woman, and although it makes you roll your eyes when you think about it, you fall in love with the prince. Prince Hamlet is funny and charming, and he seems to like you a lot, but you try to not get too excited about it because you're worried you might jinx it. But things are really going great. Only it's been hard doing the long distance thing while you've both been off at university. And while you love studying capital S science, and you sure Hamlet's loved studying capital U undeclared, it hasn't been easy. Now that you're both back in Denmark for his father's funeral and his mother's second wedding, it's been harsher still. Hamlet's really sad. And you can't blame him for that, since, his dad died, and you wish there was something you could do to help him. When you last saw him, Hamlet mentioned how the castle seemed cold and drafty, and for some reason, it stuck with you. You've been sitting at your desk, trying to think of some way you can give him something that will help him, and as a way of cheering him up, remind him that he's got people who care about him. But he wears these cloaks all the time, and he's taking them off in the warm rooms and putting them on the back of cold ones. If only there was some way you could keep the room at a uniform temperature, he wouldn't need to be constantly adjusting his clothes throughout the day. But to do that, you'd need some way of measuring heat and of transporting it out the castle, perhaps through a series of pipes. Your thoughts are interrupted by a knock on your door. "Who is it?" you call. "It's me, your brother," he says, your brother. "Come on, let me in." Let him in. Tell him you're busy. Well, I'll just let him. You open the door for your brother. "You can come in," you say. "But I don't want to hear any opinions about my personal life." "If you sleep with him, you're a slut," he says. I totally fucked up this voices. Invite him in to enter your room. Yeah, I'm gonna give him some back chat, because that's what happens in the thing. Okay, you let him into your room. He sits down in an empty space behind. You choose to remain standing. "Listen," he says. I know you like Hamlet, but he's a prince and he's gonna marry someone out of his own rank." "Who said anything about marriage?" you reply. "I'm happy with Hamlet and we're having fun. Nobody's talking about marriage." "That's another thing," he says. "Look, if you've had sex before marriage, and you want to be ruined for other men, then nobody will ever want you. He's only dating you because he wants sex. Don't sex him, because I'm your brother, and I'm telling you not to." What do? Throw him out of your room and slam the door in his face. Sit beside him for some reason and tell him it makes a lot of sense somehow, and doesn't do as he says. Fuck. I don't know. I can't remember what happened. That's not exact. Really? Really? Okay. You sit down on the bed and tell him that you'll do as he says and sincerely appreciate the meddling in your personal life. And then you go on to say that if you're going to abstain sex before marriage, then he should do the same. And be careful too, because he sleeps around way more than you do. And it's gonna be one heck of a sexual double standard if you're damaging goods and he's totally fine. That's right. I didn't even give you a choice about saying that or not, because you kept choosing the stupid options. Guess you're just gonna have to deal with it, huh? In any case, that's what I wanted anyway, because that's what happens in the actual thing. And anyway, there's a knock on your door. Before you answer, your father, Polonius, opens the door. "Normally I would knock, but you wait for them to," you say. You're an idiot to think Hamlet loves you," he says. Then he notices Laertes is in your room too. "Oh, hey, Laertes. Having fun being on your own trip. The lines be self-true." Laertes nods. "I already told her she's sorted," he says. Get them both out on the cliff. I guess. Smile, nod, and empty room besides you, inviting Laertes. Yes. Polonius sits down on the bed beside you. "So, you guys were talking about Hamlet, huh?" he asks. Your brother nods, and Polonius turns his face to you. "Hamlet only likes you because you're smoking hot," he says. "You're an idiot, believe wonderful life, right?" You agree that he has said and written some of the beautiful things about you, and blah blah blah. It proves it. Listen, you're not too dumb to understand what I'm saying, but I'm just going to give you a following order, so you do the following. Stop seeing, and never speak to him again. Put all of the thoughts out of your head. Slam it across in the face and tell him you're not dumb. You can recognize sincere emotion as a sexual partner. Tell him you'll obey, and then Call him your lord and follow him meekly out of the room. Agree with everything and Laertes have said, because that's the stuff I wrote earlier about being an independent woman in charge of her own destiny. Sounds pretty dumb, actually. You have to. You'll be pretty dumb. It's no. God, I love this so much. More about right. Look, I'm trying to do the dumbest thing you can do. Please, I beg you. Do not choose this option. Okay. Okay. You do all that stuff. Listen, I'm gonna cut our losses here. You're not allowed to be Ophelia for a while. Wherefore? And that's where I'm gonna pause it here. So, if you like this, leave a like. If you wanna go check out my other videos, then, you know where to click and stuff. I have solid, faith in you to know the YouTube system. And until next time, ta-ra.